When Jesus was traveling with his disciples earlier on in his ministry, they were in somewhat of a high point. All these people were meeting Jesus for the first time and getting healed, and it would have been easy for the disciples to say, man, this is as good as it gets. But in that very moment, Jesus felt compassion for all the people who were still struggling and lost and broken. And then Jesus said, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And in that very moment, the disciples' minds would have gone to the image of a field ready to be harvested. You had to get those crops in immediately. If the harvest was plentiful, but the workers were few, that would have been a matter of incredible urgency. We have to find some way to bring in that harvest. That urgency that Jesus is trying to produce in them is the same urgency that we're trying to produce in our church family right now. That God's work is unfinished, and there is a sense of urgency to partner with God in what He is doing. The Bridge Church was started in 2006 by a small group of people with a big vision to see the love of Jesus transform their community. They moved into the Town and Country complex at Wilder and saw the community grow to a little over 100 people. They saw so many people saved and baptized and saw lives radically transformed by the love of Jesus. By 2016, they had outgrown the warehouse space and were praying for a more permanent location. The facility that I'm standing in today at that time was on the market for $4.1 million, far beyond the price range of this community. A Christian business owner actually put a bid on this building, and that bid was approved. God gave him a dream telling him that building belongs to somebody else. And so he withdrew the bid and allowed the Bridge Church to move into this facility. It was truly an only God moment. Now on Sunday mornings, we have over 600 people showing up for in-person services. God is on the move like we've never seen before. As more and more people show up every single Sunday, we believe that the greatest opportunity for our church today to make an impact on the community is actually to renovate and update the facility that God has given us that we believe came to us through a miracle. When you pull into the parking lot, you see countless sinkholes filled with water due to deep structural issues underneath the surface. The auditorium is short several hundred seats from the original design, and as a result, in our busy services, a family of 4 to 5 can't sit together in the same row. Our kids' ministry hallway is actually very narrow and feels incredibly cramped on Sunday mornings, especially during pickup and drop-off. When we look at all of these issues together, it becomes very clear that our facility is unfinished and it is time to take action. So here's the action we're taking. We're starting something brand new called Unfinished, and it is a strategic generosity initiative. What does that mean on a practical level? We believe that God's work is unfinished really in 3 areas. Firstly, God's work is unfinished in our hearts. We hope that through this Unfinished initiative, many people that have never taken generosity seriously will start to see it as a central part of what it means to be a Christian. We also hope and pray that through this initiative, those of us who give regularly and generously may be stretched in our giving. Maybe we've gotten stale and we've always given a certain percentage, and God may be challenging us to go above and beyond where we've been today. But secondly, we believe God's work is unfinished in our community. There are roughly 8,000 people in our town who are not connected to a gospel-believing, Bible-believing faith community. When we expand our radius of reach to a 25-minute drive, there are hundreds of thousands of people who do not know Jesus that I believe God is calling us to reach. God's work is unfinished in our community. And lastly, God's work is unfinished in our facility, the miracle of the building that God has given to us. And like I said just a few minutes ago, we believe that improving our facility is actually the most strategic opportunity we have right in front of us to reach those thousands of people right in our own backyard and beyond who are far from God. We are planning on renovating and redecorating our lobby. That's going to include a brand new cafe, updated, beautiful look, as well as a new kids ministry entrance that we believe will be much more warm and welcoming to families. We're going to take that kids hallway and widen it so it's comfortable for families and kids walking up and down it. We're also going to renovate our kids auditorium, raising the ceiling in there and adding decor that just makes it more welcoming to kids. We're going to add in the stadium seating in our auditorium so that we have full capacity for all of the people we believe God will be bringing into our church. We're going to redo the parking lot completely, including doing the deep structural work that needs to happen so that potholes and sinkholes don't keep popping up. We're going to have a brand new roof installed, and we are going to give the entire front of the building a facelift, paint job, and add new signage that matches our current branding and logo. For this unfinished generosity initiative, we have two main goals. The first goal is 100% engagement. We are asking every person who calls the Bridge Church their home to fully participate in the process. It means coming to Sunday morning services. It means being active in your small group or your serving team. It means praying that God would do big things in and through us as a community. It means committing to a financial gift over the next 2 years. Our second goal is this. We're asking God to help us raise $4.9 million over the next 2 years. Unfinished is a one-fund initiative, meaning that all of our regular week-to-week giving and any increased or special giving will all go into one unified fund. If we were just continuing church as normal over the next 2 years, we would receive already around $2.6 million. 2.34 of that 2.6 million will go into a category that we call our mission. This category funds all our regular programming for kids, youth, worship services, facilities, staff, and operations. 260,000 of that 2.6 million will go into a category we call our outreach. This category funds all of the ministry we do outside the church, including our local outreach, global missions, and donations to other organizations. Unfinished, as an initiative, aims to add an additional $2.3 million over the next 2 years beyond what we would already expect to receive. This $2.3 million forms a new category we're calling our home. And these financial gifts will be used to remodel and renovate the building in some exciting and momentum-producing ways. When you add these three categories together, that's what brings us to a total goal of $4.9 million given over a 2-year span. We want you to know that Joanna and I are going on this journey of generosity right along with everybody else. We have already been giving 10% of our gross combined income to the local church, but over the next 2 years of this initiative, we are going to be doubling that amount that we give to the Bridge Church. We're excited to be a part of watching God move in powerful ways over the next 2 years. The last 17 years of the history of the Bridge Church were incredible and miraculous, but we also believe that God was just getting started and that over the coming years and decades, we will be seeing God do things we could have never dreamt of before. From hundreds of baptisms to thousands of baptisms. From hundreds of people showing up on Sundays to thousands of people showing up on Sundays. From hundreds of students and youth being reached to thousands being reached. And I cannot wait to see what God is going to do. And I want to invite you to come on that journey with us, to be at the forefront, to not let the Bridge be a place where you just attend, but to be a place where you are giving your life to.